So we know that cancer is a huge burden in our society. In the US, it's actually the second leading cause of death among Americans, and 1 out of 4 deaths in the US is due to cancer. My cancer data will look at cancer statistics in Maryland. The first raw data will look at cancer statistics in Maryland counties. In particular, it looks at all types of cancer, all ages, all races, male and female from the year 2011 to 2015. The data gives information on age-adjusted rates, case counts, and also population for each county in Maryland. You can play with these rates by ascending and descending the order in Excel to help interpret the data better. But overall, by looking at this data, it's a little hard to interpret and it has very little meaning. The second set of data will look at cancer statistics in Maryland as well. However, this time it looks at rate of new cancer cases by race and ethnicity in both sexes, and also rate of new cancer cases by sex and race and ethnicity. Unlike the previous data, this data focuses on all counties in Maryland. However, age-adjusted case count and population is given for each race and sex. Overall, data drives information, and we know this. But this data is not powerful, much like the other raw data. People don't always understand things with rows of numbers. The data, as previously mentioned, is boring and doesn't generate much information at all. You have to be able to use it to drive conclusion for it to actually matter. It needs tools and strategy to get most out of it. And that's where data visualization comes in. So previously, I had showed you guys a slide of cancer statistics in Maryland counties. What I did was I took the data and I populated it into the form of a map on Excel. A natural reaction of people when looking at figures that rank cancer rates in their counties is to compare these rates in their counties to other counties. So the map visualization is a great tool because it allows the users to visualize spatial relationships in the data by indicating data on a geographical map. We can see on this map that, for example, in the southeast region of Maryland, that there are higher rates of new cancers in Maryland. We can also see in this area has a lower rate of new cancer in Maryland. We can draw conclusions about the regions. Perhaps there are variations in medical care. Maybe this region has proportionally fewer smokers than the other states. We're not exactly sure. But this map gives us a better understanding of what's going on and helps us draw conclusions from these new cancer rates. What's also great about the data visualization is that when you hover on a specific region, you're able to generate information about that specific county. So example, by hovering on Cecil County, I'm able to get information on age-adjusted rates, case counts, and also population. The next visualization tool is a very simple tool, and that is the use of a donut chart. This donut chart shows the rate of new cancer cases by sex and race and ethnicity. So by looking at this chart, we can tell immediately that whites have a higher rate of new cancer cases compared to the other races, with blacks coming in this close second. We can also see that Hispanics and Asian and Pacific Islanders are very similar in rates, and that Asian and Indian Alaskan Native is pretty much at 0%. Another way of visualizing the data is through the use of a bar graph. So I used bar graphs to show the rate of new cancer cases by race and ethnicity in both sexes. So I broke it down in male, and I also broke it down by female. By looking at males, we're able to tell that blacks have a higher rate of new cancers in men than whites. And looking at females, we can see that whites have new cancer cases than blacks. And this is easily interpreted by just looking at the size of the bar graphs. So bar graphs are easier and simple ways of being able to gather information about data. So this project does not use any information on personal health information. However, it is important to consider ethical procedures throughout the visualization process. Ethics in data visualization is not a new concept at all. Many have discussed the importance of standards and best practices for the development of data visualization. The role of the information developer is to ensure that the data visualization are both truthful to real life and represented in a way that is easy to comprehend and does not confuse the public or the user. Knowing that the goal of the information design is to represent data, the information developer should be mindful of ethical issues surrounding data visualization to ensure that they're not exploiting the reader's perception of injecting fiction or representing the data incorrectly. So examples of doing this would be truncating important information from a graph to mislead the public. Overall, data visualization is a great way to generate information and draw conclusions from it. Thank you.